Hello, and welcome to the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Hannah Sutherland. I'm a lover of all things self-care, personal development, and spirituality. I have created this podcast to help you grow into the most soulful version of yourself while creating more joy, magic, and purpose in your everyday life. If you're ready to live a life so full, then you, my friend, have come to the right place. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and now let's dive deep. Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of the Soulful Self-Development Podcast. Today, I'm going to be talking about finding your life purpose and how, when you follow that path, it becomes such a magical and rewarding way of life. So let's dive in. First of all, what is a life purpose, and how do you know if you're walking on the right path to be following your Dharma or life purpose? Your life purpose is going to be connected to you. It is essentially who you are at your deepest core. It is connected and related to your biggest dreams and desires, and you're going to use and utilize all of your own special gifts, talents, and abilities in order to build a career that lights you up and brings you joy. And the most important part is that it's going to leave you feeling so fulfilled and happy. And let's be honest, that's a big part of what all of us are looking for in life, right? We all want to feel fulfilled, and we all want to feel like we're doing something important. And each and every one of us has a unique path that we are meant to walk on. It's a part of why we are here on earth right now, and it is connected to our highest self, which is the biggest part of us. It's the part of us that knows. It's the part of us that lives forever. It's the part of us that we strive to be more true to every single day. And when we can connect to this part of ourselves, when we can honor this part of ourselves and really be in tune with what we're best at, what we're good at, what we're naturally gifted in, it's going to steer us in the direction of the reason why we're here. And when you actually walk on that path, magical things will happen. Things will fall into place so effortlessly because that's where the universe wants you to go. The universe is always trying to guide you there. That's why you have these desires and dreams and gifts that you do have, because everyone is meant to walk this magical path for themselves, and everyone's path is different. And this is why finding your purpose is actually so important, I believe, because not only is it important for you in yourself and taking care of yourself in that way and fulfilling those parts of yourself, but it's also important for the whole entire world and the whole entire universe, because you have this special gift, you have this special talent, and you are meant to help the world in your own special, unique way. And there are so many lives that will be impacted when you follow this path. There will be such a ripple effect in the people around you, because when you follow your dreams, it also inspires other people to follow their dreams, and it can make it easier for them just by seeing you and witnessing you, realizing that if it's possible for one, it can be possible for all. So don't just do it for you, and don't think that it's selfish to want to follow your life purpose, to want to chase your wildest dreams. It's actually not selfish. It's actually selfless, because it's bigger than just you. It's never about just you. And it's okay to want to feel fulfilled. That's just part of the human experiences. We're all looking for that feeling of fulfillment and joy and happiness. But it's important for the entire world around us, because everyone needs to eventually get to the point of following this path, because the world would run so much more smoothly And yeah, don't think about it just being for you. Think about it being a gift that you are giving to the entire world, because truly that is what it is. And I want you to think about how right now there are so many people out there who don't live in alignment with their purpose. There are so many people out there that have jobs that they hate, that they're miserable, then it just impacts their whole life, which then impacts all the people that they interact with. Because imagine that you had to go to a job every single day that you didn't like. You wake up and you're miserable because you don't want to go to work. And then you're at work and you're in this miserable mindset because you don't want to be there and you don't enjoy what you're doing. And then this is just a ripple effect that goes into every other part of your life. Then really your lunch wasn't so good. And then you have an argument with this person. Then you get home and you're stressed out. And then it goes into your relationship because you maybe take it out on them without knowing that's what you're doing. Maybe you yell at your kids because you're frustrated with what happened at work. And it's just leading to a lot of things that could be very well avoided in this world. And it's really sad to see because it's actually so common, and it breaks my heart because I don't think this is what was intended for us. I think we just are lost. And I want to help you find your way back to the right path, to the yellow brick road, to the way that you and your soul yearn to go to find. And it's so important because we don't want to be miserable, because miserable people just hurt others, and then those people are miserable, and then they hurt others, and it's such a negative cycle. And this negative pattern is so common, and I just want to help break that cycle, because it's crazy how different it is when you do something that you love for work. Because trust me, I have worked in multiple jobs that were not in alignment with my highest self. I have done multiple things. I worked in the same place for 3 years, and it was the most toxic environment I have ever been in. I still have a very hard time going in that building. It gives me so much anxiety, and just like the energy in there is so dense, and it is honestly crazy to me that I did spend so much time there. And I thought that it was just the way it was. And when I finally gave myself the power and decided this isn't what I want to do, I know there's something out there better for me. And now I have 2 jobs that I absolutely love that bring me so much joy. And I'm now starting also my career that will be continuing to grow and expand, whether it be with this podcast or me being a coach and sharing my life experiences on social media to help inspire others. This is all a part of my purpose, and it took a lot of soul searching, and it took a lot of inner healing and inner work, and having to tell myself that I deserve this, that I need to honor this for myself before I got to that point. And that's why I want to share this with you guys, because I hope it can inspire you to take a step back and look at your life and decide if what you're doing actually truly makes you happy, or if there's something that you feel really, really called to do. And if that's something that you can look into, seeing if there's a way that you can try to do that. And I'm not suggesting that you just go quit your job and start a new career path this very second, because sometimes it's a process, right? If we're starting, our dream is to start a business, you can't necessarily just quit your job and do that, because you're not going to make money overnight. But that doesn't mean that you can't start looking into what it would take to have a business. Come up with a name for your business, right? Write out a business plan of what it is that you would like to sell or offer or whatever. Start an Instagram page. Show up for yourself from that part of you that wants to do that. And that's the first step, right? That's how we start walking towards that path. And things aren't going to just happen overnight. Sometimes things do happen overnight because the magic of the universe wants you to have what you want. And when you feel that you deserve it and you are confident that you can do it, then the universe will bring things for you very quickly. But you still have to take aligned action. You still have to walk in the right direction in order to get to your destination, right? You can't just magically teleport there, as amazing as that would be. But another thing that happens that has made this really common in our world is that there are people that have these dreams that they never got to fulfill. They ended up walking down a different path and they thought this was just the way it was. And then these people become parents, and then instead of convincing their kids to follow their own dreams, they try to tell their kids to follow the dreams that they never got to live out. And I see this in people sometimes, and it's kind of sad because although maybe you do have a similar dream to what your parents wanted to do, that's totally fine. But there are parents that force their kids to do the sport they never got to do, or they are really, really, really hard on the kids. Their kid has to be the best because they wish they were the best, and they think if their kid's the best, that makes them the best. And it can just be a really toxic pattern. And if your parents are like this with you, I am so sorry. But I just want you to know that it's not their dream, it's your dream. And whatever is your dream, that's the path you want to walk on. And our parents are probably just this way because they are sad they never followed their own dreams, but that's not your responsibility to fulfill those dreams for them, because if it's not your dream, it's not going to work out the way they want it to work out for you anyway. And it's okay if you just say, sorry, this isn't my path. I'm going to try this because this feels what I need to do. And it might take some courage to say this to somebody that is a big influence in your life, but it's important for you to know that it's okay to walk your own path, and don't feel like you have to walk somebody else's path just to make them feel better, because it's not going to make them feel better. It's going to make them feel jealous, and it's not going to make you feel better because it's not what's fulfilling you. So again, this is why it is so important to follow your purpose. If you don't, you can honestly create misery in your life and also in the world around you, because our vibration affects the whole entire world. So if we, again, aren't following our path and we have a lot of roadblocks that make us angry and mad and upset and frustrated, we're lowering our vibration, which lowers the entire vibration of the planet. But when we make those decisions to do the things we love, that light us up, that are good for our soul, that raises our vibrations because we feel love and fulfillment and happiness and inspiration and all these things, and that raises the vibration of the planet. So we're going to talk about how to find your purpose. First, I want you to have a very open mind, because there are so many different ways nowadays that you can work and have a career. And I believe that in schools and growing up, we were super conditioned to think that there's only A, B, C, D, E, F, G ways that you can do something. For example, like a nurse or a teacher or an accountant or a doctor or whatever, just these singular professions, which if that's what you want to do, cool, that's awesome. But I'm going to share with you my experience in finding out that I, in fact, was going to have a non-traditional career path. So first, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a doctor because I always knew that I wanted to help people, and I thought that becoming a doctor would be the best way to do that. I'm very smart. I always did well in school, so I knew that it would be possible for me to do. So first I took my degree in nursing as my undergraduate degree because just in case I never made it into med school, I would still be in the same-ish area for careers and be able to help people. I got there, and within my first semester of university, realized very quickly that that was not what I wanted to do. And I didn't even think back then the way that I do now. And I am so glad I made that decision, because to me, that's not how. I still want to help people. I still want to be a healer. I am a healer. I know that that's part of who I am and part of my purpose. But I also know that it's not in a traditional doctor-nurse sense. So after I made the decision to change paths, I then went into teaching, because teaching is another part of me that I knew I was very good at. I'm very good with children. I'm very good at understanding things and being able to break them down. I have a lot of patience. So I thought that being a teacher would be an awesome career path for me. So I then went into teaching, and I did half of my teaching degree. And I also got to a point of realizing that this wasn't what I wanted to do. I still am a teacher, but again, not in the traditional sense of I want to teach at a school where they give you this curriculum and that's what you get to teach, because I love teaching and I am a teacher. I teach dance and I love teaching dance because I'm sharing something that I love, that I'm so passionate about with kids, and seeing them light up and have so much fun fills me with so much joy. And I do want to teach in other ways as well, which is why I have this podcast, and it's why I am a coach, to be able to teach people about things that we don't learn in school, because truly where my heart lies and what it is that I want to talk and teach about, it's not what I can teach about if I teach elementary school, and that's okay. But it took me going through this process to realize that I need to have some sort of career that's in a non-traditional sense. Because yes, I'm a healer. Yes, I'm a teacher. But I know if I was a nurse or a doctor or a teacher, I would probably be very miserable. Because once I found my purpose and realized that it was more bigger and complex than just one degree could offer me at a university, that it's maybe maybe it's something that not many people have done yet. Maybe they don't have a degree for this yet. Maybe one day there will be, and that would be really cool. But I don't want to walk the same path as everyone else. I want to teach about different things. I want to heal in different ways. I want to try something new. So if you feel like you haven't found the right thing yet, and you are worried because you didn't like A, B, or C, or D, or E, or F, or G, or whatever you got to, just know that sometimes having an open mind and being able to see that your path doesn't have to be go to high school, to go to university, and then work at this job for the rest of your life. There is so many other ways that you can create a career for yourself. So many other ways that you can do what you love. That's not the one way they maybe tell you that's what you can do, right? So have an open mind, and there's a lot of people now that have these careers that are not traditional. It's coming more and more into the light, and it's just proof that it's possible for you, it's possible for me, it's possible for everyone. So when you're thinking about how to find your purpose, don't have a closed mind on, I have to be a teacher and teach at a school, right? There's a lot of ways you can be a teacher, and the way that you are meant to teach will be easy for you. It'll be teaching about what you're most confident in, what you most love. So after I decided that teaching in the traditional sense was not for me, I quit my job. I didn't go back to school. I had been on a break from school because I was traveling, and I had intended to go back and finish my degree until I had the realization that that wasn't what I wanted to do. Then I quit my job and went to my dad's for the summer and was determined to find a new path of something that was more fulfilling for me. This was the summer that I super dove deep into my spirituality journey, and I listened to so many podcasts, read so many books. I studied so much that summer, and I read this book, which I highly, 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 highly recommend if you are trying to figure out what it is that you want to do with your life. It is called Discover Your Dharma by Sahara Rose. I will link it in the show notes for you to find. It just talks about different, it's called archetypes. So I believe there's 8 of them. and there's activities for you to do, there's quizzes for you to fill out, and she talks a lot about different ways that you can have different careers, kind of different paths that you can walk down. And it's almost like essentially a personality test kind of thing. You feel, I would rather do this, I would like to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then it'll give you these archetypes. And you can use these to see different ideas of what you can do if you fall into one of these categories, or maybe you have 3 categories that are really prominent for you and jobs like combining them, that kind of thing. And for me, it just really opened my eyes to how much I love to do certain things and how I could turn that into a career. For example, I love writing. I am always writing. I always have journals and notebooks with me. I could write all day long. And I have so many thoughts and ideas in my brains at all time because I'm so much air sign. It's insane. And I'm always getting all these ideas, and it helps me ground them when I can write them down. That's why I'm doing this podcast, right? I have ideas in my head and I write them down and I turn it into a podcast. And I want to be a coach. I have all these ideas in my head. I write them down. I turn them into slideshows and to teach people about what it is that I'm thinking about that I think can help. And that's another way that I can be a teacher. I also, because of this book, was how I found dance. The first thing it said to write down what brings you the most joy and think when you were a kid. The first thing I wrote was dance, and then it was writing, reading, teaching, all those things. Being a mom, I know that being a mom will be a big part of my life purpose one day. I'm not quite there yet, but I am such a mom at heart, and I love kids, and I have a very nurturing energy to me, and I know that that will be a really big part of who I am in this life. And also a grandma. I cannot wait to be a grandma. My grandma was my favorite person in the whole entire universe, and I can't wait to be a grandma because I know I'm going to love being a mom and my kids, but being a grandma is like even better because you're that much more wise and you get to have so much fun with them, and grandmas are the best because they get to spoil you. Yeah, I can't wait for that part of my life. But this book I highly recommend. I think that it can help a lot to find this path because there is so many options out there. But truly the way to find your purpose is write down all the things that you love, all the things that make you most joy. If you won the lottery, you had all the resources in the world that you needed to do whatever it is that you wanted to do, what would you do? Would you design houses? Would you decorate houses? Would you paint? Would you read books all day? Would you record a podcast? Would you take pictures and post on Instagram? Would you travel the world? What is it that you would do if you had all the money? Because that's the answer. That's how you find your purpose. And some of these things sound ridiculous. How can traveling the world be a career? Well, guess what? It is for so many people. I know people that get paid to travel. They post about the Airbnbs that they stay in. They post about the hotels that they stay in. They take pictures of them where they are and they've turned it into a career. Or they become a photographer and they use that as a way of traveling, right? You get to travel all over the place and take pictures. That's part of a job. Or just if that's really what you desire to do. I love traveling. I can't wait till I get to travel more, and I know that that will come for me. And that's also because if I'm following my purpose and the universe is going to reward me with making good money, then I can use that to travel, and all that I learn while traveling I can use to teach my students. So that will be a part of my career and purpose as well. Think about the things that you're really good at. Are you really good at listening to people? Are you really good at communicating? Are you really good at a particular skill like dance or hockey or volleyball or whatever that is? Are you really good at cleaning? Are you really good at whatever that is? Write them down. Give yourself some credit. Make a list of things that light you up. What's the most exciting to you? Do you love watching movies? Could you be a movie critic? Do you love just spending time outside? Could you somehow work on a farm or gardening or some sort of job where you get to landscaping or something like that? Because there's literally so many options. The options out there are literally endless, and we can't put ourselves in a box and say, well, I have to do this, because actually you do not. You do not have to do anything you don't want to do. And you get to do whatever you want to do, which is the most beautiful part about this life. We have free will as humans. You get to decide what you do when you wake up every single morning. You get to decide what clothes you want to wear. You get to decide to go to work. You get to decide what to eat for lunch. And it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. So you have way more power in your own life than you maybe give yourself credit for. And owning that power is one of the biggest steps towards walking on this right path. Because when you own that power and you make those decisions to wake up and put yourself first and do these things that most bring you joy and light you up, that's walking on that path. That's a step in the right direction. And the next step is really trusting in the universe and knowing that the universe wants you to have all these things. The universe wants you to follow your dreams. It wants you to be successful. It wants you to have all these wins. And there's a reason that we have these roadblocks in our life. If something keeps happening to you and it's so frustrating, if you go to work every day and you're miserable, these are the ways that the universe is telling you you're going the wrong way. When you feel love, joy, purpose, ease, that's when you're on the right path. That's when you're in that state of flow and you're flowing with the universe and what the universe has planned for you. The universe wants you to have all these desires that you have deep in your heart when you connect to that special part of yourself. And when you honor that part of yourself and you walk that path, then the universe makes it easy for you and those roadblocks won't be there. And when you have a roadblock, it's just literally the universe waving its hands at you saying, hey, go that way instead. Dead end, right? And when we can trust in the universe and know that the universe is always on our side, and when these negative experiences happen to you, it's not because you suck or you blah, 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 but it's the universe trying to get your attention to change direction, to try something different, to not do that again because that wasn't the right way for you. And one day, it'll all make sense in the end when you sit back and think, oh my God, look at this life I have created for myself. Look at all this magic around me. Look at all these things that worked out in my favor because I listened to my heart. I listened to my soul. I connected with my highest self and I became that version of me. And now my life is full of magic. So one last thing is that it's not always going to be easy. Although when you follow your right path, it's a lot easier than doing something that you hate every day. But that doesn't mean that there's not going to still be work involved. Like I said earlier, we don't just magically teleport to the place that we desire. We have to walk there, or drive, or fly, or whatever mode of transportation. But unfortunately, we haven't figured out teleporting yet, as cool as that would be. And it's okay, because if you're doing something that you love, the work part really isn't so bad, right? The steps aren't so bad. It's things that you enjoy. You might not enjoy every single step, but for the most part, who doesn't love going for a nice walk, right? And we get to look around us and see the scenery as we go on this walk. And we get to enjoy the little things in between. And we get to practice listening to our intuition and making sure that we're walking in the right direction. And are there going to be the odd bump in the road? Are we maybe going to fall down? Yeah, but again, that's just the universe trying to redirect us, and maybe there's a different way or a better way we could go about whatever it is we're trying to get done. But I promise you, it's all going to be worth it in the end, that it will make you feel so much more happy, so fulfilled, so much love in your life. You're going to have so many magical experiences if you can truly, truly, truly follow your heart and do what is right for you and listen to you when making these judgment calls. Because if we ask other people for advice, if we ask other people what's best for us, they're going to be projecting what's best for them onto you, and that's never going to truly help you. You have to have faith in yourself and that relationship with yourself to be able to trust yourself and know your intuition is not lying to you and leading you wrong, and learning how to read that and trust the universe and learning to go with the flow, because it can truly be such a magical experience. I am still at the beginning of my journey, although it's been years in the making and I'm in such a different place than I was when I started. I'm still only at the beginning of my journey, and I have seen so much magic. I have had so many manifestations come to fruition for me that blow my mind all the time, even still when I think about them. And I just want you to know that it will be worth it in the end. And following your purpose is not only for you, but it's for everyone, because we want to make this world more aligned, more full of love, and we want to eliminate the miserable people that hate their jobs, because it sucks. And I don't wish that upon anyone. I'm way too stubborn to do that myself anymore, but I hope that I can help people realize that they don't have to do that, because we don't have to do anything. So that's the episode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any questions, please reach out. If you are looking for a coach to maybe help guide you in the right direction, get to know yourself better so you know what path is for you, please reach out. I am offering coaching spots. I have 3 open spots for coaching available right now, and I would love to work with you. I am very good at helping people understand what path is right for them and help to steer you in the right direction. So don't be shy, and I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions at all, remember, I will link that book in the show notes if that's something you're interested in reading. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day, and I love you all so much. Bye! Thank you so much for tuning in today and making soulful self-development possible. I am grateful for each and every one of you. If you enjoyed the show today, make sure you rate, review, and subscribe. Stay tuned for new episodes coming out every Wednesday. You can connect with me on social media at soulful.self.development. I would absolutely love to hear from you. You guys make my heart so full. See you next time.